First at 5, we are learning that authorities believe the man who plowed a pickup truck into a crowd on New Year's Day acted alone. Good evening and welcome to 7 News Detroit at 5. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Simon Shaquette. Thank you for joining us. State and federal officials also telling us there is no additional threat to the public. I wanted to learn more, starting with a look at where things stand right now. One of the most famous streets in the country is reopening a day after yesterday's deadly attack, and now security heightened here at the Sugar Bowl as more than 68,000 pack into the Superdome. The FBI no longer believes other suspects are involved in the deadly truck ramming attack in New Orleans. The swift reversal after the FBI now says it combed through hours of surveillance video showing the moments before it says Shamsuddin Jabbar sped down jam-packed Bourbon Street, killing 14 and injuring dozens of others.
We've had 24 hours now to go through media, to go through phones, to interview people, to analyze those videos. We're confident at this point that there is no accomplices.
Jabbar was killed in a shootout with police. The FBI now says the U.S.-born 42-year-old Army veteran drove from Houston to New Orleans New Year's Eve and posted several videos online proclaiming his support for ISIS. An ISIS flag was recovered from the back of his truck.
Jabbar explains he originally planned to harm his family and friends, but was concerned the news headlines would not focus on the, quote, war between the believers and the disbelievers, end quote.
The area where the attack happened now washed clean. The governor says with the influx of law enforcement, New Orleans is now one of the safest places on earth and ready for the college football quarterfinal game, postponed from yesterday.
We're going to have us a Sugar Bowl. We're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to keep those, who have lost loved ones in mind, and we're going to get on to the business of this city and this great country.
Authorities conducted search warrants here in New Orleans, outside of Louisiana, and at a home connected to Jabbar in Houston, Texas. They are asking anyone who knew Jabbar to contact the FBI. Now, today I talked with 2 retired special agents in charge of the Detroit FBI field office to discuss the latest in the investigation of the deadly New Orleans terror attack. Now, they tell me beyond doing interviews with witnesses, family members, and friends of the attacker, agents are busy with a deep dive into his online activity and history. Both Andy Arena and Dan Roberts pointing out oftentimes early information being released can be incorrect, and establishing a possible link to a terror network can be very time-consuming.
It's probably too early to tell for sure if he had any connection. It could just be that he's a lone wolf and he was radicalized in his basement over the internet. We see that, unfortunately, quite a bit.
And the politicians show up and they start saying things maybe they shouldn't say, things that were shared with them by law enforcement. So, it just puts a lot of different layers on this that you really don't need.
2 days later, what does the investigation look like?
A lot of it's obviously going to be social media profile. I mean, he obviously posted some things on social media right before the event. But, going back in history, who was he in contact? How did he become radicalized?
Looking ahead, they tell me the FBI will look to gain a total picture of what unfolded before and during the attack. That effort involves many agencies looking at everything, including his home life, military career, and any behavioral changes.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of experts today who said he posted those videos right before the attack, which they are taught to do when they're indoctrinated into ISIS. And so for him to post so many videos and then still to commit this violent act and killing so many people is just horrific. So hopefully they'll learn from this so it doesn't happen again, but we know they've got to stay vigilant.
Yeah, such a terrifying ordeal, and they're also looking into where his weapon came from and all of these different parts of this to try to get a complete picture.
Absolutely.